You know,
I've been around for a while.
I've met some interesting people.
Done some crazy things.
You'd think that there wasn't much that could take me by surprise. You'd be wrong. The world is full of stories and science and things that amaze and confound me every single day. Incredible mysteries that keep me awake at night. Some I can answer, and others just defy logic.
Moonlight Sonata. This famous piece by Beethoven was dedicated to the student he fell in love with. Beautiful, isn't it? You know, I adore classical music, and I just love the piano. Pity I can't play it. Yeah, I know I should have kept up my lessons. Now it's too late, because to master an instrument like this takes a lifetime, right? Wrong. You can do it in a flash.
Albany, New York, August 1994. Orthopedic surgeon Tony Sikori is on the phone to his mother when the weather takes an ominous turn for the worse. What happens next will become one of the most baffling stories in medical history. Ingrid Wickelgren is an editor of Scientific American Mind.
He was just about to hang up the phone when some clouds came in. Suddenly, he heard this loud crack. He saw a flash. The bolt of lightning hit Dr. Sikoria in the face. He was blown backward about 15 feet or so, and he apparently went into cardiac arrest.
Tony is clinically dead, but his mind is very much alive.
He saw his own body near him, but apart from him, and he thought, oh, I guess I'm dead. He wasn't upset that he was dead. Instead, he sort of felt at peace.
In an out-of-body experience, Tony watches a passerby rush to his aid.
The body landed right next to a woman who happened to be a nurse who was waiting to use the phone. That nurse immediately began performing CPR on him.
Miraculously, she brings Tony back to life.
Lightning strikes can be deadly, so it's not unreasonable to think he might have died without her assistance.
Although technically dead just minutes earlier, Tony now feels fine. He even declines all further help.
Well, he refused to go to the hospital. It's not totally clear to me why. I think maybe he figured, well, you're hit with lightning, you're either dead or you're alive. He happened to be alive. Or maybe he just didn't want to go to the emergency room. He'd been through enough.
Amazingly, it appears Tony has suffered no ill effects from the lightning strike. And for a time, his life seems to return to normal.
He saw his cardiologist when he went home, and his heart actually checked out fine.
But soon after, Tony becomes aware of a peculiar change within.
Dr. Sikoria developed an incredible passion for music. Instead of the old rock that he preferred, he suddenly needed to hear piano music, classical piano music.
A former football player, Tony has never listened to classical music before in his life. Now, his head is filled with it.
He ran out to the store and bought CDs. And he bought this one CD of this pianist playing Chopin, and he played it on his way to work, on his way home from work, and then over and over and over again.
Soon, just listening to music isn't enough. Tony has an overpowering desire to play it. He borrows a friend's piano.
So we bought the sheet music for every piece on that CD, and he starts practicing.
Learning the piano becomes an obsession.
And he practices 4 to 6 hours a day. He gets up in the morning at 4 o'clock and plays for a couple hours. He gets home, the kids go to bed, he plays. Again, he practices by himself. The adult brain does not learn these complex musical skills very well, and he was 42 at the time. Remarkably, Dr. Sikoria became an extremely skilled piano player. He plays with great emotion, and that reflects the fact that, you know, he's developed this passion for the music.
Tony's obsession then takes another turn. Not only can he play music, he discovers he can write it.
He had a dream in which he was playing a piece. And when he woke up, the piece was still in his mind, and he realized this piece had never been played before. This is his own music. He decided he was going to write it down and compose that piece of music that came to him in his dream.
From having no musical skills at all, Tony is now creating entire symphonies, almost at will. Then, just a few years after his accident, Tony is given the chance to perform in public.
In 2002, Dr. Sikoria debuted his newfound interest in piano in front of an audience. He must have been really nervous, but excited, and he played with great emotion. It got great reviews.
It's an achievement that still mystifies both scientists and music critics alike.
Becoming a professional pianist is incredibly difficult. The idea that people would come and listen to someone who, by all rights, should be an amateur is remarkable.
You know, this story is truly amazing, even miraculous. One day, you're just a normal guy, and then, boom, everything changes. Where did Tony's extraordinary talent suddenly come from? Surely the lightning had something to do with it. In fact, many survivors of lightning strikes claim remarkable changes in their lives occur after the event. I want to see if they're right. Now, don't try this at home. Funny, except for a need to lift my leg, I don't feel any different.
A bolt of lightning turns a man into a musical genius. Does a near-death experience account for his talent? Spiritualist Dr. Susan Shumsky doesn't see it that way.
There's no such thing as having a talent given to you out of the blue.
Shumsky believes Tony's newfound skills came from his very distant past.
You know, there's a lot of things that make a lot of sense when you believe in reincarnation. Tony had a dream that he described. Him on stage playing his own musical composition as a pianist. That was not a dream. That was a past life memory.
How was Tony able to recall a memory from a previous life?
We develop many skills through lifetime after lifetime after lifetime as we reincarnate. The mind stores all of our memories, not only from this life, but from all previous lifetimes. And we can tap into that storehouse, and we can develop talents and abilities that we have developed in past lives.
Shumsky is convinced the lightning strike allowed Tony's brain to access more than just memories, but past life skills as well.
Tony was a composer and a musician in his past lives. When Tony had his bolt of lightning, I believe that this lit up parts of his brain. This awakened something in himself that he already had. His natural ability started to come out. The skills of music, composition, playing a piano, that he had been that in a past life.
Shumsky says the bolt out of the blue steered Tony towards his true destiny.
Tony says that he's a different person, but I believe that now Tony is more himself than he's ever been.
Do we all have former lives very different from our own? And can we harness past life skills and use them in the present? There we have it. 3 stories of medical mysteries. A woman becomes so toxic she sickens dozens of people. Did her body produce nerve gas? Lightning turns a man into a musical prodigy. Can trauma trigger hidden talents? And a young man sheds tears of blood. Is it a sign of impending Armageddon? You decide.
Join me next time for more stories that will undoubtedly be weird or what.